The Box Hill Chess Club hosted its annual end-of-year event, the Summer Swiss Open, as a prelude to the Australian Open being held in Sydney. The top seeds in the tournament were Murtas Kazgaleyev, Vasily Papin, Rustam Khusnutinov, Bobby Cheng and Chris Wallace. In round 3, the top seed Kazgaleyev was held to a draw in an equal rook and pawn ending by local player Jack Puccini. This result ensured that Puccini will gain a FIDE rating of 2300 and with it the FIDE Master title. In round 4, Vasily Papin won a wild seesaw battle with local FIDE Master Bill Jordan, and the other top seeds also won their games. In round 5, the game Khusnutinov-Papin resulted in a short draw, allowing top seed Kazgaleyev to catch up with them, with a large group of players just half a point behind. So, as usual with big open events, it all came down to the final rounds. I spoke with the eventual tournament winner, Grandmaster Vasily Papin from Russia, at the end of the tournament. I'm here with Vasily Papin, who has just won the Canterbury Summer Swiss tournament. Vasily, how do you feel about the win?
Oh, of course, I feel good because it was last tournament in this year, and of course I'm happy that I won this tournament.
Good.
Okay, now it's good tradition because in the last year I won this tournament too. Yes, okay, and we'll see.
So it's been a successful competition in the Australian summer circuit for you, yes?
Yes, I know.
Oh, good. And I wanted to ask more about where you're from and your chess career in Russia.
Okay, I was born in Moscow in 1988. Okay, but next I go to Rostov region, city Shakhty. Okay, it's a nice city. Okay, and I finished school in Shakhty, and next I go to university, and now I study in postgraduate course in specialty economy.
Okay.
Yes, and I hope in the next year I will protect my dissertation.
Okay, so you're about to do this. How do you find juggling the university study with your chess? It must be quite difficult.
Yes, it's quite difficult, but head of my university and he like sports.
And he's supporting you to go and travel to chess?
Yes, of course, and sometimes my university support me in chess. Yes, and nice, okay, but sometimes I play for my university in the university in Russia, in Rostov region. Yes, it's absolutely normal situation for Russia, because I know a lot of chess players have support from his university.
Yeah.
It's because in Russia it's tradition in Russia.
Okay. Now, you go back to Russia or to some other tournament after Australia?
Yes, I come back to Russia in January 12th after tournament in Sydney.
Okay.
Yes, after this Australian Open.
Okay, so you will probably play in the Australian Open, yes?
Yes, I will play in Australian Open.
Fantastic. It's actually one of the best prize money for the Australian Championship or Australian Open for many, many years, maybe the best ever.
Yes, but of course we have another players, another grandmaster, and again we'll play Super GM from China.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
yes,
strong field of competition.
Of course, okay, because we only grandmaster. Okay, this is super grandmaster. Okay, we'll see.
You're very modest, but yes, it will be a strong tournament, absolutely. And in this tournament, which do you think was your more interesting games?
Okay, I think I played a lot of interesting games. Okay,
yes.
Because in the round number 3 I played with Burmistrov. Yes, okay, yes. And I have interesting position, but maybe I have difficult position. Okay, but it's easy for computer, yes. But for people it's
not so easy.
No, because I thought I have absolutely normal position. Yes, but computer said another. Also,
in a later round, you had a similar situation. It was a round 6 game.
Okay. Before round 6, I played with FIDE Master Bill. Yeah,
Bill
and,
Jordan, yes.
Yes, and it was a very long game. I have advantage, but next I have one extra piece, but unfortunately I have not a lot of time, and
So there's time trouble, yeah.
yes, and I start played very bad. Yes, I played crazy, and I think William have good chance make a draw.
Yep.
But we played 96 move.
Yeah, it was very long, yeah.
Yes, okay, it's second my long game in Australia in this period, because in Australian Masters, in the first round, I played against Bobby Chen, 140 moves.
Yeah, really crazy long game, yeah.
Yes. Okay, and next I played with Rustam Kusnudinov. It's not very long game. It's quite short draw. Okay, and next I played with Kashgalev from Kazakhstan, and it was an interesting game.
Yes, looked a very interesting position.
Yes, and I have in one moment after knight d5, I think it's a very good move, and after cd ed I have full compensation, and I have, I think, win position. Okay, but unfortunately after bishop a8, okay, when I took on a8,
yes.
I have 35 seconds after this move.
Okay, so you're quite short on time.
Yes, okay, and he played queen a8 and took for a draw. Of course, I saw move c6, but unfortunately I don't saw normal answer after bishop h3.
Yes, because he hadn't played bishop takes
yes,
h3,
because now I cannot play d7, because knight d7, and I need to play rook d7, bishop d7, cd, rook d8, and I will not sure about this position.
Yes.
Yes, and I have only 30
seconds.
Yes, 35 seconds in this moment. Yes, and I
accept the draw.
Accept the draw. Yes.
Okay.
As it turns out, in this position, White has the very strong move Queen e6, defending the d7 pawn and threatening both Rook c8 and Rook c3, intending Rook h3 mate. Just going back to the pawn move d7, if Black plays Rook d8 immediately, threatening to recapture the pawn because of the pin on the c6 pawn, White can play Queen f7 or Queen d5 with a winning position.
Okay.
Because some people did comment about this online and said, oh, you know, he's got this strong position, why he didn't fight on?
No, of course, if you sit at home with your computer, with coffee, and it's more easy than if you played before 3.5 or 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yes, and this moment, it's critical moment.
Yes, no, I understand this situation very well.
Okay, but of course, maybe I need to play in this moment and not accept a draw.
The board 2 game in round 6 between Bobby Cheng and Rustam Khusnutinov was a fascinating encounter. With Black to play, the game continued knight takes b2. Black plays a positional sacrifice to open lines of attack on the queen side. After king takes b2, a4, rook a1, bringing the rook across to defend the a-file, queen b4, c3, queen b5, knight g3, hoping for some counterplay on the king's side, g6, crossing White's plans on that wing, queen c2, bishop a3 check, king b1. Note that king takes a3 loses the white queen to a takes b3 check. So after king b1, rook a5, hoping to swing the other rook into action on the a file, queen e2, aiming to exchange queens, queen b6, king c2, a takes b3, regaining the piece invested earlier on, a takes b3, and now it looks like White has consolidated his position on the queen side. Rook e8, a8, rook hb1, bishop e7, opening the a file and attacking the g5 pawn, rook takes a5, rook takes a5, h4, rook a2 check, rook b2, queen a5, e4, d takes e4, knight takes e4. White has now opened the centre and is hoping to gain some inroads against the black king. Rook takes b2, check, king takes b2, queen a3 check, king c2, queen a2 check, king d3. Black is a pawn down and aims to force a draw here after queen b1 check. Note that after queen takes b3, white has knight f6 check, king f8, knight takes h7 check, king e8, and knight f6 check, and white has the advantage. So returning to the game, after queen b1 check, black forces a draw after queen c2, queen f1 check, queen e2, queen b1 check, queen c2, and we have a repetition of moves, and the game ended in a draw. In the final round, Kuznutinov and Kazgaleyev agreed to a quick draw, allowing Vasily Papin to wrap up the tournament with a nice win over Lawrence Matheson.
In the final game against Lawrence, yeah.
Lawrence Matheson is a very talented young player. He played a strong field.
Yes, he played normal, nice in this tournament, and he played well against Kazgaleyev.
Yes.
But today I have, I think, good preparation for this game, because after queen a4, he played not very strong, not lucky, and I have advantage after the opens, and a critical moment, I think, after castle, after short castle, I played g4. I think it's a strong move, and after cd, ed, knight g4 is strong move. And after knight g4, bishop e3, now I'm without piece, but a few moves and my piece come back. Okay, and I think a very big advantage in this position.
And now black continued queen c7. A slight inaccuracy. Black was perhaps hoping to exchange pieces and equalise. Bishop c5 was the other try, but not king h8, as Vasily Papin explains.
I saw variations, some variation. For example, after bishop e3, king h8, bishop d4, knight d4, rook d4, queen f5, and now rook e1, bishop d8, and maybe queen f7, and game finished.
Perhaps better was bishop c5, trying to hold on to the knight. Then after b4, bishop b6, knight d5, king h8, knight takes b6, a takes b6, bishop takes d4, leaves white with a small plus. But returning to the game, after queen c7, play continued rook takes d4, queen takes c4, rook takes c4, and now another inaccuracy by Lawrence Matheson with bishop to d7. Even after rook d8, bishop d5, the pin of the knight proves to be decisive. For example, after king f7, rook e1, rook d6, bishop f4, rook b6, and now rook c7. Black is all tied up, and white threatens knight to a4 and c5. Returning a few moves before that, and the alternative try, rook d8, also doesn't work because of rook takes c8, rook takes c8, bishop takes e6 check, king f8, Bishop takes c8, winning. So back to the game. After bishop d7, white continued bishop takes b7, rook a b8, bishop d5, and again this pin proves decisive. The threat is rook c7. After rook fc8, to prevent that, rook e4, king f7, rook e1, f5, and now the very nice move, bishop takes e6 check, bishop takes e6, and the wonderful follow on, rook takes e6. Now after king takes e6, bishop c5 with a discovered check, king d7, rook takes e7 check, king d8, and hoping to play rook takes c5, but after rook e5, white is holding on to everything. Then after rook takes b2, rook takes f5, white is clearly in the driver's seat. King d7, bishop d4, king e6, and now after rook a5, white is winning at least the a7 pawn and also threatening the kingside pawns with bishop takes g7 and knight to e4 and to g5 check. And at this point, black resigned.
So this was actually a very nice win for you in this.
Yes, it was a good game, I think. Quite beautiful. Yes, because this idea with d4 and knight d4, and it was final my game in this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's of course
Nice way to finish the year.
Yes, it's a nice finish in this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope next year will be more better. I want to say thank you very much for Leonid and
Yes.
For Leonid and his family,
Mm-hmm.
and family Peter and Michelle New.
Uh-huh.
Thanks a lot
Mm-hmm.
for Alan Goldsmith.
In
And,
Adelaide, yes.
yes, for Alan and for his wife and for his 3 cats and 2 dogs. Because we have a very nice time in Adelaide,
Yes.
and in Adelaide I have electric bike.
All right, well, congratulations on winning
Thank you
this
very
tournament, and good luck for your competition in the
thanks.
Australian Open in Sydney.
Yes, see you next time.
Thank you, Vasily Papin.
So the final leading scores in the 2014 Canterbury Summer Swiss. Winning the tournament outright was Grandmaster Vasily Papin with 6 points, and equal second with 5.5 points, Grandmaster Murtas Kazgaleyev, Grandmaster Rustam Khuznutinov, FIDE Master Chris Wallace, FIDE Master Bill Jordan, Candidate Master, now FIDE Master Jack Puccini, and Hoi Nam Win, all on 5.5. I look forward to presenting further highlights from the Australian Summer Circuit next week, live from the Australian Open in Sydney. Thanks for watching.